Captain Drell of the Galactic Federation vessel Stellaris stared at the communications screen in disbelief. The human representative, Admiral Jones, had just offered to repay the Federation's rescue of a stranded Earth colony ship with a recipe for something called chocolate chip cookies. This is a joke, yes. Drell's translucent eye stalks quivered with indignation. We expended significant resources to save your people. The Federation Council expects proper compensation. Admiral Jones smiled, the expression causing strange folds in his pink face. Captain, I assure you this recipe is worth more than you realize. My people never share it outside our species. The transmission ended, leaving Drell fuming. The Federation had saved 300 humans from certain death when their colony vessel suffered a catastrophic drive failure in deep space. Now they'd offered baked goods as payment. Preposterous. Within the Federation Council chambers on Proxima Station, representatives from 17 species debated the human response. Insulting, bellowed Councillor Vax, his scales rattling against his ceremonial armor. We should demand proper payment or cut diplomatic ties. Councillor Mira, the eldest of her kind, raised a delicate tendril. Let us not be hasty. Humans are unconventional. Perhaps we should investigate this recipe before dismissing it. After much debate, the Council assigned Drell to lead an investigative mission to Earth, his orders, to determine if this cookie recipe held any actual value. 2 weeks later, Drell's ship entered Earth orbit. He was greeted by Admiral Jones and escorted to a facility called a bakery. The smells were overwhelming to Drell's sensitive olfactory sensors. This is Baker Tom. Jones introduced a flour-dusted human. He'll demonstrate what makes our offer so valuable. For the next hour, Drell watched in growing confusion as Baker Tom mixed simple ingredients, flour, sugar, butter, eggs, and small brown pieces the humans called chocolate, into a substance that was then heated. Now we wait, Tom said cheerfully. When the timer buzzed, Drell nearly jumped out of his exoskeleton. Tom removed flat, round discs from the heating unit. The aroma filled the room. Try one, Jones encouraged, handing Drell a cookie on a plate. Despite his misgivings, Drell's mission required thorough investigation. He took a small bite. The world stopped. Flavor exploded across his taste receptors in ways his species had never experienced. Sweet, bitter, creamy, is something else. Something that triggered pleasure centers in his brain that he didn't know existed. What? What is this? Drell managed, his voice trembling. Chocolate, Jones explained. A compound unique to Earth. It contains theobromine and phenylethylamine, chemicals that stimulate pleasure responses in most carbon-based life forms. 3 days later, Drell returned to the Federation Council with his findings. By then, he had personally consumed 47 cookies and gained a noticeable bulge around his midsection. Counselors, he began formally, I have analyzed the human offering thoroughly. It appears that this chocolate contains compounds not found anywhere else in known space. Its effects on various species are profound. Samples were distributed. The council chamber grew silent as 17 different species experienced chocolate for the first time. The Cerulean ambassador, whose species communicated through color changes, turned bright purple, their expression of extreme pleasure. The Vordag delegation began humming their happiness song. Even the typically stoic Benther representatives were making little chirping sounds of delight. The implications are significant, Drell continued. Initial projections suggest a market value exceeding the cost of our rescue operation by approximately 12,000%. Furthermore, the humans have offered exclusive distribution rights to the Federation for the next 50 standard years. 1 month later, the first Federation chocolate production facility opened on Proxima Station. Within a year, chocolate had become the most valuable commodity in 3 quadrants. Federation ships that once carried weapons now transported chocolate. Worlds that had been enemies for generations opened diplomatic channels to ensure their chocolate supply. Admiral Jones stood beside Drell on the observation deck of the new Human Federation Joint Cocoa Research Institute. Below them, Hundreds of scientists from dozens of species worked together to develop new chocolate varieties suitable for different biologies. You understand now? Jones asked. Drell nodded, his eye stalks swaying gently. When you said you were repaying our debt, you weren't offering a simple recipe. You were giving us an entirely new economy. Humans have a saying, Jones replied. The best gifts keep giving. When humans owe you, we don't just settle accounts. We transform the ledger entirely. Drell's species didn't have the facial muscles to smile, but his skin rippled in the pattern that expressed profound satisfaction. The Federation assumed a debt repaid meant resources returned. We never considered it might mean resources multiplied. That's the thing about humans, Jones said, watching a Xerillian and a Vordi scientist excitedly sharing notes on a new truffle formulation. When we owe you, expect the unthinkable. Drell looked out at the stars beyond the station. Relations between humans and the Federation had never been stronger. Trade routes were expanding. Cultural exchanges were flourishing. All because of a simple brown substance that grew only on Earth. On behalf of the Federation, Drell said formally, I must inform you that your debt is considered more than paid. Jones laughed. Captain, we're just getting started. Wait until you try what we call ice cream.